Hello everyone, this is Nena. Okay, I wanted to share something with you guys that I have been mulling over in my head for the last couple of weeks. It's about something that's been happening, to me and with me, and I've heard about it, a couple of times from a couple of ladies, but it's really been there in my mind lately, and I thought I should share it. Okay, it's this. Okay, now let me speak for myself. I love to listen to people. I love to pay attention to people, especially if it's someone that I'm meeting for the first time. Either way, anyway, I love to listen to people because I like to get to know them on a deeper level. People are very different from me. I recognize that. I acknowledge that. And so, whatever it is that I can find out about the people that I come in contact with that would make me relate with them better, that would help my relationship with them to improve in whatever way, knowing the things to do and the things not to do, I try to find it out. And the truth is, people always love to talk about themselves. That's really the truth. People love to talk about themselves. They say, oh no, well, but at the end of the day, they do talk about themselves, and in the course of talking about themselves, they say things, things just fall out their mouth. They just spill secrets that they probably did not plan to say. For instance, like someone told me yesterday, a guy told me yesterday that um, whenever he's upset, let's say someone upsets him, and he's really upset and all of that, all the person just needs to do is rub the back of his head. That once her hand just touches the back of his head, that's just it. He just weakens and he just begins to smile in his words like a goat, and that's all. So basically, when people talk, they just spill things about themselves that they spill useful information, things that you have to, look out for. That's why sometimes they say don't listen to what people say. Sometimes they might say, oh, I'm not this kind of person, but eventually, as they talk, they get to expose parts of themselves that they probably didn't intend to expose. Anyway, so I love to listen to people. I love to get to know people. But this has happened to me like on 2 occasions now in the past 2 weeks. Not at the same time though, at different times, but in the past 2 weeks I've had to meet guys who, at the first meeting it seemed like, oh, they've always wanted to get to know me, they've always wanted to meet me. The first guy, we'd run into each other a couple of times due to the nature of our businesses. We're in the same line of work and all of that, and so we had run into each other a couple of times, spoken once. I needed to ask a question about what's going on, but I never gave it a second thought. And so we had seen each other a few times at those places where we carry out businesses, and all of that. But after a while, I see a Facebook friend request. I look at it, I'm like, who is this? I checked it out. Normally, I always do that because I don't just want to accept random people, as friends, especially on Facebook, where people can just say all stuff and just post all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so I checked him out, but I'm like, okay, this person looks familiar. And I accepted his friend request. And then afterwards, he started to send me Facebook Messenger, Facebook messages on Facebook Messenger, like, hey, you look familiar, I think I know you, this and that, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I think I know you too. And so we spoke and we found out, oh yeah, you're the person that I usually run into whenever I go to so place. And it's like, yeah, that he's been wanting to meet me. I'm like, we actually met. In fact, the first time we met, I spoke to you. We didn't have to introduce ourselves. We didn't introduce. We weren't introduced to each other, but we spoke. He was like, yeah, he was shy and he always wanted to meet me, and so he started to look for me until he came across something about me on Facebook, and then he started to do his research, and then he sent me a friend request, hoping I was the one, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, the day we eventually met, he was so excited. He went on and on and on and on and on, and that was nice. It was cute, But eventually, I thought, okay, this is some guy who supposedly has been looking for me and has been wanting to meet me and wanting to see me, wanting to be with me and hang out with me and blah 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 blah. And now it's been approximately 2 weeks since we first officially saw and got properly introduced, and he knows nothing about me. He just knows my name, Nena, and he knows that my office is at so place because he had to come one time. I couldn't come to where he was. Anyway, he basically knows nothing about me. He doesn't know he doesn't know anything about me. He doesn't know what I'm about. He doesn't know what the things I love, the things I don't love. He doesn't know what I'm about. And I think about it, I'm like, okay, so he has ranted and he has raved all about himself and what he's about and his goals and his dreams and his visions, but he doesn't want to care to know about me. So what is this about really? What are we doing? And I'm just watching him like, okay, this is someone who has been dying to meet me. And then funny, yesterday I met another one. Okay, well, not yesterday, but like a few days ago, but officially we hung out yesterday. We had lunch, went out for lunch yesterday. And it was the same thing. In fact, this one was even kind of worse. This one has been wanting to meet me for about 4 years now. Now, 4 years is a pretty long time. As a matter of fact, longer than 4 years, because he said his first encounter with me was at my brief stint at Nigerian Idol, which was in 2010. That's 6 years ago. Sorry, 7 years ago. And so he watched me on TV and he was fascinated about me, my music, and all of that. And then he came to Abuja and he saw me and he met me and he came to my church and all of that. Oh, is that her? And he found out it was me. And so he's been wanting to meet me for that long. He sent me a Facebook friend request. I accepted, and every time he tried to send me a message, I never really responded because I wasn't exactly sure about who he was. But eventually yesterday we went out for lunch, and all he spoke about was himself. Now I sat there I was just like this, eating intermittently, of course, and listening to him. And it was interesting, hearing all this stuff about him. It was one that told me about the rubbing at the back of his head and all of that, which it was fun and it was interesting. I loved to learn about him, but I felt that after he had said so much about himself, the next thing was to turn around and say, okay, why don't you tell me about yourself? I want to learn so much about you. I want to know everything there is to know about you. But no, none of that happened. He just talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked some more about himself. And then after lunch, he drops me back in my office and he says, it was so nice to meet you. I hope we can do this again, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, it was nice to meet you too. And it was nice getting to know you. It was actually, but I was just a bit disappointed. Like, okay, you met me for the first time on TV 7 years ago, and you've always wanted to meet me. You just wanted to meet me. You tried everything apart from physically come to me, and now that it has happened, you just sit and you talk about yourself, and you do not want to know anything about this person that you've been wanting to meet for the last 7 years. It doesn't make any sense to me as far as I'm concerned. Does it make any sense to you? Now, I'm sure there are a lot of ladies out there who have had this kind of experience where you meet someone who claims he has been scoping you for a long time, and then the time comes and it really doesn't, it's not about you. I'm not saying that it should be about you, but I mean, you are the person of interest here. You are the object of desire. As the woman, you are the object of desire, and so you should be desired, you should be pursued, you should be investigated, everything. In fact, just a tad less lower than a stalker. That's what he should be to you. Please, he shouldn't stalk you, but he should want to find out everything about you because he's interested in you. So I don't know, tell me what you think, guys. Is this really how it goes? Is this really what you do? You just want to talk and talk and talk and talk, and you know nothing about her? And girls, I'm sure you've been through this before, and what do you think? Like, someone should please tell me something.